talking of a time when the city of New York was filled with a river life.
And when you heard the Benny Goodman quartets on the radio at the corner stationery store.
And almost everybody wore a hat.
We are the last of that generation of chain smokers who woke the world in the morning with their coffin.
Who sailed for Europe on ships.
Who were truly nostalgic for love and happiness.
And whose gods were as ancient as yours, whoever you are.
It was long ago.
So long ago that the foliage of elm trees was part of the summer night.
So long ago that when you wanted to make a left turn, you simply cranked down the window and pointed in that direction.
Otherwise, you were not allowed to point.
Don't point, you were told.
I can't imagine why.
Perhaps the gesture was thought to be erotic.
And maybe it was.
Jim and Irene Westcot were the type of people who seemed to strike that perfect average of income, endeavor, and respectability that was reached by the statistical reports in college alumni bulletins.
They were the parents of 2 young children, had been married 9 years, and lived on the 12th floor of an apartment near Sutton Place.
They went to the theater on average of 10.3 times a year,
That much.
according to the statistics.
And they hoped one day to live up in Westchester County.
They differed from their neighbors only in an interest they shared in serious music.
They had a new Magnavox console radio, and they spent a great deal of time listening to music on it.
For Christ's sake, Kathy, Joe's have to play the piano when I get home.
It's the only chance I have. I'm at the office all day.
So am I, which makes it hell to come home to that damn piano.
Did you hear that?
I did?
On the radio.
Yes, I heard.
Well, that man said something
I
vulgar.
mean, it was just a play.
It didn't sound like a play. I'll try another station.
Have you seen my garters?
Button me
I
up.
said, have you seen my garters?
Just button me up and I'll find you your damn garter.
I wish you wouldn't leave apple cores all over the place. You know I hate the smell.
That's strange, isn't it?
Isn't it?
Trot, trot to Boston, trot, trot to Lynn.
My God, that's a Sweeney's nurse in 17C.
Trot, trot to Salem and Glen Hove again.
Oh, turn that thing off!
Wait, why?
Well, maybe they can hear us. We must be getting other people's apartments.
I mean, that's impossible.
That's a Sweeney's nurse. She sings that song in the elevator every morning.
All right, just let me try again.
Ride a cup horse to Banbury Cross.
There she is again.
Hello? Hello? See, they can't hear us.
Well, then try another station.
We are poor little lambs who have lost our way. Ba, ba, ba.
Please, eat some more sandwiches.
Oh no, I couldn't eat another bite.
That's the Fullers in 17D.
No.
That
the
is
rate.
the Fullers. She was in the liquor store this morning planning a party for tonight.
Well, why weren't we invited?
Because we don't know them, Jim.
Well, now.
Try those peculiar people, 18C.
So later that night, we heard a monologue on salmon fishing in Canada and a bridge game. And later on,
What's the matter, honey?
I can't sleep.
Do you feel all right?
I don't really feel like myself. There's only 15 or 20 minutes in a week when I actually feel like myself.
We'll try another doctor tomorrow.
These doctors, these bills.
you know what? Maybe we should just go to bed.
Maybe we should.
But the next evening, when I came home,
Jim, quickly go to 16A. Mr. Osborne's beating his wife. They've been quarreling since 4 o'clock.
Irene, I can't just
What
go
is
up there and
hurting
tell
her?
them.
Listen. Now stop.
Have you been listening to that all day?
Of course not. Maybe occasionally. Oh, Jim, it's been horrible. Mrs. Melville's mother just died, and the woman is having an affair with the handyman. Ah, you know the girl, the one that walks that poodle every morning. She's a prostitute.
Okay, that's not Irene.
What?
Okay, I spent a great deal of money on that radio. I bought it to give you some pleasure.
You bought it for yourself too, Jim.
I bought it mainly for you. I'm not here all day.
You seem to be blaming me for something.
No, not blaming, just pointing out a simple
Don't,
fact.
don't quarrel with me, Jimmy, please. Everybody in the whole world has been quarreling all
tell you what, that damn radio fixed first thing. So, I called the store. Better?
Oh, yes, much. The man came and it's been fine ever since.
I saw the repair bill on the hall table. $400.
Apparently it required some major adjustment.
Well, looks like that's our last extravagance this year.
I hope so.
I saw something else on the hall table. A bill from Saks.
Oh, well, yes.
You haven't paid the Saks bill yet.
I'll pay it next month.
Why did you tell me you'd already paid it?
I didn't want you to
Hey,
worry.
you lied to
I
me?
didn't lie, Jim.
Right, I mean, frankly, I don't like to see all of my labor is just wasted, and your fur coats and slip covers and expensive radios that just...
Please! They'll hear us.
Oh, who'll hear us?
The radio!
The radio can't hear us. Nobody can hear us. Nobody in the whole damn world can hear us.
Jim, please!
You know, what if they can? Who gives a crap?
Stop it! You know I hate that word!
When you're so holy all of a sudden, well, let's turn you overnight into a convent girl. You know, you stole your mother's jewelry before they probated her will, and you didn't even give your sister a cent. Not even when she needed it. And where was all your piety when we went to that abortionist? I'll never forget how cool you were. You went off, packed your bag to have that child murdered like you were going to Nassau. You know, I worked my ass off for you and the kids.
She thought of the radio and hoped it might once again speak to her kindly.
Hell, I'm getting a drink.
Maybe she'd hear some Chopin, or at least the soothing song of the Sweeney's nurse.
An early morning railroad disaster in Tokyo today killed 29 people and injured.
A fire in a Catholic hospital near Buffalo was extinguished early this morning after causing several deaths and
The
thousands of
temperature is
dollars.
47.
The humidity is 89.
But that's all she heard, so she turned it off.
Hi, is this where you powder our noses? Hi, Alice. Yes, sit down. Say, could I borrow a splash of that perfume? I seem to have left mine at home. Certainly. Certainly you can. Taboo. How fancy. Ralph gave it to me for Christmas. I hear you're moving to California. We hope so. We'll know tomorrow. Is it a good job? Ralph thinks so. You're lucky. I suppose we are. California. It's kind of scary, actually, to pick up states. Scary hell. You're very, very lucky. You don't know how lucky you are. I have this cake of soap. Well, I had this cake of soap. Somebody gave it to me when I was married. Some maid, some music teacher. It was good English soap, the kind I liked. And I decided to save it for when Larry made a killing and he could take me to Bermuda. First, I thought I could use it when we got a job in Hartford. Right. Then when we went to Boston. Sure. And then when we got work here. Of course. I thought maybe this time, maybe now I could get to take the kids out of public schools and pay the bills, move out of those second-rate rentals we've been living in. Well, last week, I was looking through my bureau drawers, and there it was. This cake of soap. It was all cracked. So I threw it out. I threw it out because I knew I was never going to get the chance to use it. I'm never going to Bermuda. I'll never even get to Florida. I'll never get out of Hawk. Ever. Ever. Ever.
stratum of middle class that is often distinguished by their ability to recall better times. Lost money is so much a part of our lives that I'm often reminded of a group of expatriates who adapted themselves energetically to some alien soil, but are reminded now and then of the escarpments of their native coasts. I'm home! Sometimes Betsy stands at that window as if she's lost or forgotten something, and this moment of reflection is so deep that she can't hear me if I speak, or the children if they call. Is it okay if the kids listen to The Lone Ranger? Is that corned beef hash I smell on the stove? Yummy! Would you like me to light the candles?
Do you remember the Trenchers?
The Trenchers?
We met them last month at the Newsoms. He's a doctor. She's older. Talks constantly about her dog.
Oh, right.
He's here.
Where?
Down there, on the street.
Trencher?
Come and see.
Ah, yes, just walking his dog.
He wasn't walking the dog when I first looked out. He was just standing there, staring up at this building.
This building?
That's what he says he does. He stands there and stares up at our lighted windows.
When did he say this?
At the playground.
At the playground.
He stands outside the gate and watches me. Last week he walked me home. That's when he made his declaration.
His declaration?
He said he loves me. He couldn't live without me. He'd walk through fire to hear the notes of my voice. That's what he said.
You might want to go to another playground.
Oh, I did. But he followed me there. I know he's crazy, darling. I feel so sorry for him. He said he's never compromised in his life, and he's not going to compromise about this.
What does that mean?
I don't know. Well, I'll get dinner.
I was tired that night and worried about my taxes and bills, so I can only think of Trencher's declaration as a comical mistake. He, like most men I knew, was captive of financial and sentimental commitments. He was no more likely to fall in love with some strange woman he met at a party than he was to take a walking trip through French Guiana. Hello? Hello? Who is this? Then I wondered, in his helplessness, Trencher might have touched that wayward passion my wife shares with some women, that inability to refuse any cry for help. It's not a reasonable passion, and I would almost rather her desire him than pity him. Hello? Look it, I know it's you, Trencher. It's late. We're trying to have dinner. So get off the line, you creep, or I'm calling the cops. And that seemed to work. But then the kids got sick. Betsy and I took turns getting up in the evening, and I often fell asleep at my desk.
As did I, in my chair, after dinner.
What are those?
What do they look like?
Don't get wise, Betsy. I'm too tired.
They arrived this afternoon. I just haven't had time to deal with them.
From your mother.
From Trencher.
Oh, Christ.
He said they were to cheer me up.
He said?
He brought them to the door.
Oh, Jesus,
You
Betsy!
let him in, Bob!
Out they go, down the incinerator!
Don't you dare!
Now!
Bob! Do you realize I haven't left this apartment in 2 weeks?
It hasn't been quite 2 weeks.
It's been over 2 weeks.
Well, let's think about this. The children got sick on Saturday, which is the 4th. So
Stop
that
it,
means...
Bob! Just stop it! I know how long it's been. I haven't had my shoes on in 2 weeks.
It could be worse.
My mother's cooks had a better life.
I doubt that.
My mother's cooks had a better life! They had nice They had days off.
How long was he here this afternoon?
A minute, I told you.
You let him in? He stayed?
No, I did not let him in. And you know why? Because I looked so terrible. I didn't want to discourage him. He makes me feel marvelous. The things he tells me make me feel marvelous.
I can't believe this. What's that?
That? I'll tell you what that is. That is the people upstairs tapping on the radiator. That is our fellow prisoners in our common penitentiary signaling through the plumbing. That's what that is.
Do you want to go?
Go?
Leave.
Leave? Where would I go? Dobbs Ferry, Mount Kisco?
I mean with Trencher.
I don't know, Bob. I don't know. Is divorce so dreadful? Is marriage the most wonderful thing in the world? When I was at school in France, I wrote a paper on Flaubert in French. A professor from the University of Chicago wrote to me a letter. Today, I couldn't read a French newspaper without a dictionary. I don't read any newspaper. I am ashamed of my incompetence. I am ashamed of how I look. Do you know what I need? Have you the slightest idea of what I need?
What now? That's him, isn't it? Down in the lobby.
Maybe it is.
I'm going to tell that guy to come up.
Oh, no.
I'm going to tell that guy to come up. And when he does, when he makes his so-called declaration, I'm going to knock him down.
Oh, no.
And then I'm going to tell him to get the hell out of our lives.
Oh, please, no! He didn't hit him, thank God. Trencher never got close enough for that. But the poor man stood in the vestibule, hat in hand, while Bob yelled and swore at him. And then, when he turned to go, Bob threw the vase of flowers at him, which hit him right in the small of his back.
He's gone.
I know he's gone.
Are you crying?
Yes.
Why?
Why? Why am I crying? I am crying because my father died when I was 12 and my mother married a man I detested. I am crying because I didn't have a nice dress for dancing school and I didn't have a good time. I am crying because I'm tired. I can't sleep.
Now, when I get home in the evenings, Betsy and I go straight to the children's room. Sometimes they've built something preposterous. Their sweetness, their compulsion to build, and the brightness of the light shines perfectly in Betsy's face. We feed them, we bathe them, we get them to bed. Afterwards, Betsy stands in the middle of the room trying to make some connection between the evening and the day. Then, I light the candles in the candlesticks that she inherited from her grandmother. And we sit down to our supper.
I am perceived as a somewhat retiring man, and there's a reason for that. You may have seen my mother waltzing around the Rockefeller Center ice rink in the middle of New York City. She's 78 years old and very wiry, and she wears a pink velvet costume with a very short skirt. She's also pushed around by a paid ice rink attendant. Well, I know I should be grateful that she amuses herself and isn't a burden to me, but sometimes I feel she should have picked a less conspicuous form of recreation. When I see glorious old ladies sitting on their front porches arranging chrysanthemums, I can't help but think of my own mother, waltzing around with a paid attendant in the middle of one of the biggest cities in the entire world.
Kellner, garçon, cameriere, you. Could I have a little service here?
And then there was my father. My mother divorced him long ago.
Hi, Dad.
Chop, chop! You hungry?
Sure.
We'll stoke you up with some real food before you go back to that boarding school gruel. My good man! I should have brought my whistle. I have a whistle that is audible only to the ears of old waiters. Now take out your little pad and your little pencil and see if you can get this straight. I want 2 dirty martinis. Repeat after me. 2 dirty martinis.
How old is the boy?
That, my good sir, is none of your damned business.
I'm sorry, sir, but we cannot serve the boy.
Well, I have some news for you. I have some very interesting news. This doesn't happen to be the only restaurant in New York City. They've opened another on the corner. Come on, Charlie.
The next place we tried was an Irish pub.
Tally-ho, master of the hounds. Hi-ho and all that. We'd like something in the way of a stirrup cup. Now let's see what England can produce in the way of a cocktail.
Faith and Megara, where do you think you are? This is an Irish pub.
If there's one thing I can't tolerate, it's an impudent domestic. Come on, Charlie.
The 5th place we tried was Italian.
Buongiorno. Per favore avere 2 cocktail americane. Forte, forte, molto gin, poco vermouth.
I'm sorry, I don't speak any Italian.
Come on, bitch. Subito, subito.
I'm sorry, sir, but this table is reserved.
Find us another table then.
All of the tables are reserved.
I get it. Capiche. Well, the hell with you. Vado all'inferno. Onwards and upwards, Charlie.
I've got to make my train, Dad.
Now?
I do.
I should have taken you to my country club. The service there is excellent, but for some reason I'm no longer a member. Oh, come on, I'll walk you to Grand Central.
That's okay, Dad.
No, I want to. And I want to buy you a paper. A gentleman should always have something to read on the train. Good sir, could you spare me one of your damned no-good 10-cent afternoon papers? Is it asking too much, kind sir, for you to sell me one of your disgusting specimens of yellow journalism?
I'm late, Dad.
No, you wait right there, sonny. Just wait right there. I want to get a rise out of this guy. Sir! Squad! Pawn of the Fifth Estate!
Goodbye, Dad. Goodbye.
And that was the last time I ever saw my father.
Starting with the ABC.
Hi.
My husband and I have recently moved to one of the hill towns. I don't mean the real hill towns, Assisi or Perugia, perched on one of those 3,000-foot crags. No, I mean the towns perched north of New York.
They resemble the hill towns, only that the ailing, the disheartened, and the poor cannot ascend the steep moral paths that form their natural defenses.
Here, life is comfortable and tranquil, and in nearly every house there is love, graciousness, and high hopes. Here, the schools are excellent, the roads are smooth, and...
Welcome! Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now, I'm interested in your names. Why do they call you Peaches?
It's just a nickname. When I was little, I thought life was peaches and cream.
Oh, I see. And I hear they call you Gigi.
They do.
Why?
I need another drink.
It's from college. At college, they called him Greek God, CGG. He was All-America twice.
Oh, what college?
Wisconsin, but he went to Andover before that. He was vice president of his class and captain of the hockey team.
Say, Gigi, when you were to Andover, did you know Chucky Ewing? Oh, Chucky Ewing, he must have been there when you were. He went to Yale and he now works for Brown Brothers Harriman. He married Bunny Bean from Vassar, and they moved to Mamaroneck 2 years ago. They spend their summers on Fisher's Island, their family's house, and,
What?
I said, did you know Chucky Ewing?
John, it's stuffy in here.
Oh, sweetie, no.
Terribly stuffy.
Gigi, please, not our first night here.
I've got to teach them, honey. They've got to learn.
I'm afraid he's had a bit too much to drink.
Like hell I have. I haven't had half. Enough. I've got to teach them.
What do you want to teach us, Gigi?
You'll never know. You're all too damn stuffy.
You're not teaching anybody anything, Gigi, but the fact that you're rotten drunk.
What a damn bunch of stuffed shirts. Why don't we put a little vitality in the ponds, shall we? Take it off! Papa!
This is
Take it off!
Papa.
Take it on!
Gigi, come back to me! Come back to where you are!
Get out of my house, Gigi!
The pleasures are mine. Neighbor. Thank you for a lovely evening.
Gigi! Oh, please!
Let's get out of here.
I've never been to a party quite like this before! He doesn't hear me anymore. He doesn't hear the children. I'm sorry, Peaches. I know you are. But you won't be there to say goodbye. Even the garbage man will be glad to see us go. Gigi! Come back! Come back!
I wonder what he was trying to teach us.
I think he wants to prepare us for something.
Oh, prepare us for what?
I don't know. Age, sickness, death.
Jesus, Martha.
I mean, he seems to think we're all so rich and happy. Maybe he just wants to prepare us.
Well, I wish he could prepare us without taking his clothes off.
I wish he could too. I don't know. Recently, I've had this terrible feeling that I'm a character in a television situation comedy. I mean, I'm nice looking. I'm well dressed. I have humorous and attractive children. But I have this terrible feeling that I'm in black and white and can be turned off by anybody. I just have this terrible feeling I can be turned off.
Oh, Ethan.
Oh, hello, Patsy.
I have a rather peculiar question to ask you.
Shoot.
What do Republicans drink? I mean, generally.
Republicans? Scotch, I would think.
That's what I thought. Scotch. Thanks, Ethan.
Oh, what does Ed think?
Oh, Ed's away. You're the best. Oh, and how was your summer?
Fine. Everything's fine. Everyone's well and happy.
Good. It's open.
Hello?
I'm in here.
Ah, good evening.
Hello again. How about a drink?
Yeah, a little scotch would be nice.
Scotch.
Just please.
I believe I can produce scotch.
Wonderful.
Yes, indeed. Scotch for good Republicans.
Thank you. So, what trade does your husband come in on?
Oh, him? He's away. His business takes him all over the world.
Oh, what does he do?
He manufactures those little plastic tongue depressors. We take him very far away.
I see.
You know, when you called and you said you were stopping by, I was secretly hoping that you might wear your uniform.
What uniform?
Your general's uniform.
Oh, I'm not a general.
I heard someone call you general after church.
Oh, that started in the men's locker room of the golf club. You see, I have very strong political opinions, and I happen to share those strong political opinions.
So you know things that generals know?
Yeah, yes I do. For instance, I know it's time to hang tough. If those damn Russians want trouble, throw a little nuclear hardware at them, show them who's boss. But enough about that. Someone has to keep watch around here.
I couldn't agree more. I'm so sorry your wife is sick.
She's not sick. She's just tired. She does a lot of volunteer work. She collects collects money for diseases. Her grandmother did smallpox. Her mother collected for mental health. She does tuberculosis. And since she was tired today, I said I'd finish up her list for her.
So you called me.
So I called you.
Well, I better start looking for my checkbook.
No, not yet.
At ease, Jen.
I can only be gone so long.
I want my favor first.
What favor are you talking about?
Guess.
I can't give you money. I'm sorry. I'm not a rich man. I can't.
I wouldn't think of taking money.
And then what is it?
Something you wear.
My Sunday cufflinks? My dad's watch?
Think harder.
My Zippo lighter from the war? I don't know.
I won't tell you unless you promise to give it to me.
I don't make promises unless I know I can keep that promise.
It's very small.
How small?
Teeny weeny.
Just tell me.
I want the key to your bomb shelter.
Who told you about that?
I saw it with my own eyes. I saw those bulldozers and trucks. I saw you plant grass seed over it, and I saw your wife put that bird bath on top of it.
Is that why you came up to me after church on Sunday?
Creepy,
No.
creepy little rabbit.
No, that shelter was designed strictly for my family.
Come to play at the general.
No, we made some very tough decisions at that shelter. We cut out cousins, we left Aunt Idaho to burn. Okay, you win. If we hit the Russians before they hit us, we may never even have to use this puppy. Just take it.
Thank you, General. Now, for my checkbook. Suppose we take a look upstairs.
Okay.
What a splendid summer night. The light hits you like a blow and the air smells as if hundreds of wonderful girls have come wandering across my lawn. In the summers, I cook most of our dinners on a charcoal grill in our backyard. Tonight we had hamburgers, my favorite, and I noticed my wife Zena didn't seem to have any appetite. The children ate heartily, of course, but perhaps they sensed a quarrel. For as soon as they had finished, they slipped into the television room to watch the quarrels there.
You're so inconsiderate. You never think of me.
I'm sorry, darling. Wasn't the hamburger done?
It wasn't a hamburger. I'm used to the garbage you cook. It's your whole attitude. You're just so inconsiderate.
What have I done now, darling?
What have you done? What have you done? You ruined my life. That's what you've done.
I don't see how I've ruined your life. I guess you're disappointed. Lots of people are. But I think it's fair to blame it all on your marriage.
Oh, God.
There are lots of things I wanted to do, you know? I wanted to climb the Matterhorn. But I wouldn't blame the fact that I haven't on anyone else.
You climb the Matterhorn? You couldn't even climb the Washington Monument.
Sweetheart, please.
You've ruined my life.
As soon as I check into the hotel in Minneapolis, the phone's ringing. She says the hot water heater isn't working. So I say, why don't you call a plumber? And she cries. She cries over long distance for 15 minutes. Now, there's a very nice jewelry store in Minneapolis, so I go buy her a pair of earrings. Sapphires. $800. When I get home, I give them to her. We go over to the Barnstable's for dinner, and later she tells me she's lost one. She doesn't know where. And she refuses to call Barnstable's to see if they found it lying around. So I say, it's like throwing money into the fire. And she cries. Again! She says that sapphires are cold stones. They express my inner coldness. She says that there were no love in those earrings, that all I had to do was walk on down to a jewelry store and buy them. So I say, what do you want me to do? Make you jewelry? She wanted me to go to one of those night schools and make her one of those crummy silver bracelets. The hammer, you know. Every little hammer blow is a sign of love and affection. Is that what she wants, for Christ's sake? And that's another night I slept in the guest room.
Now it's fall and the children have gone away to school. I think Zena's trying to poison me.
Sit down and eat.
What's this?
What does it look like? Ham, salad, and potatoes.
There's something wrong with this salad.
Ah, yes. I was afraid that would happen. See, you left your lighter fluid in the pantry, and I mistook it for the vinegar.
Where are you going?
I thought I might try to take a bath.
Why try, dear? Why not just do it?
I will try to ignore that.
Oh, God. It could just be my imagination. Lord knows she irritates me. Even her manner of speaking offends me. I must try to arrange the flowers, dear. I must try to buy a hat, dear. Is it me? Am I the crazy one here? Or has the world just gone mad?
So, a few weeks ago, I lost my job. And now I'm broke and the bills are piling up, so tonight after the Warburton's dinner party, I snuck back into their house, climbed their stairs, patted their Cocker Spaniel, entered their bedroom, and stole Bill Warburton's wallet right out of his pants. $900. God, am I miserable. I never knew the mind could open up so many chambers of such self-reproach. Where's my innocence? Where are the trump strings of my youth? And where's that wet leather smell of loud waters and keen woods after a smashing rain? At least this will pay the bills.
Back to the poison. 2 nights ago, I came home, looked into the kitchen, and thought I saw... Ah!
It's you.
What are you doing?
What does it look like I'm doing?
Looks like you're putting pesticide on the lamb chops.
Now I know that you don't grant me much intelligence, but I think I know better than that.
Then what were you doing?
I was trying to dust the roses.
I ate one of the lamb chops at dinner that night. I mean, I had to. It's a question of trust. We've been married for 20 years now. Surely I know my wife well enough to know that she would never... That night, I spent an hour in the bathroom with acute indigestion. She seemed to be asleep when I came back to bed, but I noticed her eyes were wide open. So, tonight, I intend to watch. I will hide in the broom closet. And through the keyhole, I can see most of the kitchen and observe her preparing the evening meal. We always keep the pesticide on the cellar stairs. Sure enough, there she is. There she is, taking it out. And now she's stepping outside. She must be dusting the roses. And now she's coming back inside. And she did not return the pesticide to its rightful location. It's still with her. She's taking the meat out of the oven. She is spicing it. Now, is that salt and pepper she is putting on the meatloaf? Or could it be nerve poison? Where's she going? spooning the vegetables. She's serving meat. And now here she comes with the evening meal. Hiya.
Let's sit down and try to eat.
It's hot tonight, isn't it?
You think it's hot?
I do, yes.
Well, we can't expect to be comfortable, can we? When we're hiding in broom closets!
Somehow, we got through another meal together.
Lately, my husband and I have been having some trouble getting to sleep. Bert is temporarily unemployed, and so he likes to relax by taking long walks through the neighborhood. As for me, why, I simply review what I've done during the course of the day. For example, this morning I took Bert to the early train so that he could start looking for another job. Then I had the skis repaired, booked a tennis court, bought the wine and groceries because tonight was our night to host the monthly dinner for the Société Gastronomique du Westchester Nord. I attended a League of Women Voters meeting on sewers. I went to a full dress lunch for Bobsy Mills' aunt. I weeded the garden. I ironed the uniform for the part-time maid who helped the dinner tonight. I typed 2.5 pages on my book club paper on the early novel of Henry James. I emptied the wastebaskets. I helped the sitter prepare the children's supper. I gave Ronnie some batting practice. I put Lizzie's errand to pin curlers. I got the cook. I met Bert at the 5:35, drove home, took a bath, got dressed, greeted all of our guests in French at 7:30, said bonsoir to all at 11, and, well, that seems to be it. Some may say that I am prideful for accomplishing all of these things. I don't think so. I am simply a woman who is enjoying herself in a country that is prosperous and still young. Coming to bed, darling.
No, I think I'll take a little walk.
I have big things tomorrow.
So, tonight, I have to rob again. This time it'll be the Maitlands over on Hollyhorse Lane, Maynard and Zena. They fight a lot, and so they drink a lot. They should sleep very soundly.
Sounds like rain.
Would you like to talk about the weather, darling?
No, thank you.
God, I keep thinking about my beginnings, how I was made in a midtown hotel after a 6-course dinner with wine. You know, my mother told me time after time that if she hadn't had so many old fashions at the time, I'd still be unborn on a star.
I think I will try to do the dishes.
I will try to help you, dear. Say, how about a glass of port?
You plan to drink after dinner?
Care to join me?
I'll try. What do you plan to do with that?
I thought I might try to put it back.
I doubt they can even hear the thunder now that their lights are out. But then I suddenly changed my mind. You know, I wish I could say a kindly line set me straight, or it was the distant strains of music from a church, but it was no more than the rain, just the rain on my head. I'll return everything I stole as soon as I can, and now I guess I'll go home to bed.
Is that you, dear? What are you doing out?
Just walking the dog.
But we don't have a dog.
You're right. Just practicing for when we do. A good boy. Oh, who's a good boy?
The branch of the family to which we belong was founded by a minister who was eulogized by Cotton Mather. We were ministers until the middle of the 19th century, and the harshness of our thought was stored in scripts and sermons. Man is misery, they say, and all earthly beauty is lustful and corrupt. Lawrence!
Look at this.
What?
This shingle. This shingle must be over 200 years old.
I guess it is.
I know it is. I mean, it's so old. Grandpa bought them from the surrounding farmhouses just to make this house, which was built in the 20s, look venerable.
Probably did.
I know he did. Look, you can still see the carpenter's chalk from when it was nailed into place. And if you look at the front door, which is a relatively new front door, you'll see the surface has been deeply scored, and there's been white paint rubbed in to imitate rot.
Okay, Lawrence, okay.
Imagine spending thousands to make a sound house look like a wreck. Imagine the frame of mind that implies. Imagine wanting to live so much in the past, you'll pay your carpenter's wages to disfigure your front door.
You know what, Lawrence? We should go hit a tennis ball. Let's go hit a tennis ball.
You know why, don't you? You know why we retreat into the past?
No, Lawrence. Why?
Because we and our friends and our part of the nation can't cope with the present. That's why we have to have candles when we eat, or why we fight over old furniture.
Who's fighting? We all agreed that you could have the high boy, Lawrence, since it apparently means so much to you.
Grandpa left it to me, and you personally have resented it ever since.
Oh, come off it.
Come off of what?
This gloominess, buddy. Come off it. You're spoiling your own good time and everybody else's. You've been nothing but tense and unpleasant all weekend long. You know, you think you're out of your Lawrence, but you don't. You don't know the half of it.
Oh, I'll tell you what I know. I know our sister is promiscuous. I know Dad's almost broke. I know Mother's an alcoholic, and I know that you're a superficial fool.
Yeah, and you're a gloomy son of a bitch.
Get your fat face out of mine.
And I could have killed my brother then.
Boys!
But then Mother came in and cooled us off.
Oh, boys! Do something! Daddy. Do something with your children. Do something.
That doesn't. No, that really doesn't. This is my last summer here, I can tell you that. If it weren't for my kids, I'd leave right now. But after this summer, you can count me out. Oh, and I'm taking my high boy with me.
And then you know what happened? The sun came out. What a morning. Jesus, what a morning. The weather is clear, the wind is northerly, and Mother's roses smell like strawberry jam. But what can you do with a man like him? What can you do?
Chatty, don't you dare tell Mother, but do you know what I did on my weekend trip to New York?
Oh, what?
I auditioned for an off-Broadway play.
No.
It's true. I walked into a room where there were 4 men, and they were very circumspect, but they said I'd have to be nude.
Oh, come on!
It's true. I'd be expected to simulate or perform copulation twice during the performance, and participate in a love pile at the end that involved the audience.
Good God! So you walked out?
No. They asked me to take off my clothes, and I wasn't the least bit embarrassed, but I was afraid that my feet might get dirty.
Jesus, Esther!
There I sat, naked before these strangers, in front of a big photograph of Ethel Barrymore.
I can't believe this.
Now listen, I felt like I'd found myself, Chatty, like a new woman, a better woman. It was one of the most exciting experiences I've ever had.
Have you told Bill yet?
I'll break the news to him if I get the part.
I'm disgusted, Esther.
Oh, yes? Well, that's the trouble with this family. You're all so square and stuffy. You know, you have no idea how beautiful and rich and strange life can be when you stop playing out these roles that your parents designed for you.
You're not gonna get the part, Esther! What about your stretch marks?
Want a drink?
It's a little early.
It's Labor Day.
Then please.
I just made another rule.
And what might that rule be, darling?
No grandchildren or dogs may enter this room for the next hour and a half.
That is an excellent rule, darling. Thank you.
Oh, look at this light. We are at our best in this light. We are at our very best.
Are you too busy? Tell me the truth.
We're busy drinking.
Of course we're not busy.
I've got a proposition to make.
Uh-oh.
I've decided I will stay here a little while longer and not go back to town with you.
Oh, not true.
No, there's nothing for me to do in New York. I'm just a divorced woman rattling around. I wrote to Helen Parker asking her to stay with me, and she thinks it's a great idea. I have her letter right here. Read it. Read what she says.
Joan, you can't stay
Why, yes I can. Yes I can, Daddy. We're willing to rough it. We'll take turns walking to the village for groceries.
Joe, this house wasn't designed to be lived in during the winter. The walls are too thin. The water will be turned off.
Oh, we don't care about water, Mummy. We'll get our water from the old ice pond.
Sweetheart, you last about a week. I'd have to come up and get you, and I don't want to have to close the house twice.
But I want to stay. I've planned it for so long.
Joan, you're being ridiculous.
I've never asked you for anything. You've always been so strict. You never let me do what I want.
Joan, please try.
Esther got everything she wanted. She went to Europe twice, she had that car in college, and she had that fur coat. I want to stay, I want to stay, I want to stay!
Joan, you're acting like a child.
I want to act like a child? Is there anything so wrong about wanting to act like a child for a little while? I have no joy in my life anymore. When I'm unhappy, I try and remember a time when I was happy. But I can't remember a time anymore.
Joan, get up. Get up on your own 2 feet.
I can't. It hurts. It hurts my legs to stand.
Joan, my baby, my sweetheart, get up. Come on, stand up. Come with me and I'll walk you.
What makes the summer always an island? And what makes it such a small island? Why do all these good and gentle people who have surrounded me my entire life seem like figures in a tragedy? What mistakes have we made? We have loved our neighbors, respected the force of modesty, and held honor above gain. Where have we gone wrong?
Checkers, Mother?
Ah, now there's a good idea, Channing. Checkers.
Mother, do I look like I'm 33?
Stop talking about your age, Chatty. Do you realize that's all you've talked about all Labor Day?
Oh, it isn't all I've talked about, Mother. I've talked about the kids' awful schools. I've talked about my own problems at work.
Feel that refreshing breeze. Feel that refreshing breeze. Children drown. Beautiful women are mangled in automobile accidents, cruise ships founder, and young men die lingering deaths in mines and submarines. But no, we find none of that here. No, here. It all boils down to feel that refreshing breeze.
Anyone see my bathing suit?
I've been meaning to ask, Mother, who is that strange couple renting next door?
They're not strange. They're cousins of the Ewings, which makes it all the more surprising.
I said, have you seen my bathing trunks?
I'm sure they're kicking around underfoot somewhere.
I'm just talking about an innocent pair of trunks, making it sound like you've been walking around the house all day, drinking whiskey and breaking wind.
Feel that refreshing breeze. Is Joan all right?
She will be. She will be. I'm seriously thinking about lighting a fire.
No, do that, Daddy. What a good idea.
Well, Esther, there's a box of candy around here somewhere.
It's stale, Mother.
Oh, it's perfectly fine. Would anyone like candy?
Actually, Mom, I think the kids ate it.
Oh.
You miserable piece of dog dung. You are worthless. You can't make a nickel. You don't have a friend in the world. And in bed, you stink.
Oh, look who's talking about bed.
Are you kidding me? I am the Earth Mother!
Feel that refreshing breeze.
I apologize for my dumb idea.
That's all right, sweetheart.
My shrink says it's good to express my feelings. Still, I must.
Joan, just make yourself a drink.
You're not all drinking already, are you?
We are, Lawrence dear, and I'll thank you not to make an issue of it.
Where's Ruth? And where's your sweet Jane, Chatty?
Holding the fort.
Playing capture the flag with the kids.
What fun.
By the way, Mother, I'm taking the Highwood. I plan to strap it to the station wagon.
So we've heard, since the weekend began.
Remember the day the pig fell in the well?
That was your tennis summer, wasn't it? That was the summer you played tennis with Russell.
That was not all she played with Russell that summer.
I like Lawrence, I mean it. When I go back to New York, I plan to work somewhere.
Good for you, darling, good for you.
It had begun to blow outside, and the house creaked gently, like a hull when the wind takes up the sail. The people inside looked safe and secure. though in the morning they would all be gone.
Oh, crown me, mother, crown me king!
Oh, Chatty, you always were so good at checkers.
Yes, my dear, I shall crown you king.